The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, the Sri Lanka Human Capital Summit kicks off at Temple Trees today, aiming at tackling the pressing issue of talent drain that threatens to hinder the nation's economic progress. 5 types of fertilizers sees a drop of prices as the Ministry of Agriculture and Plantation Industries enhance tea and coconut production. No signs of recovery for the stock exchange as it records lows for the second consecutive day. And top Fed officials say the U.S. Central Bank is closer to cutting interest rates given inflation's improved trajectory.
From Studio 24, here's Sina Mayadune.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The Sri Lanka Human Capital Summit 2024 held at Temple Trees in Colombo today aimed at tackling the pressing issue of talent drain that threatens to hinder the nation's economic progress. The event brought together a diverse group of stakeholders, including government officials, business leaders, educators, and industry experts to explore strategies for developing a skilled and adaptable workforce.
Under the theme Unlocking Sri Lanka's Economic Potential by Building a Future-Ready Global Talent Pool, the summit focused on creating a national agenda to support Sri Lanka's growth sectors. The summit was inaugurated by President Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, underscoring the importance of the event at the highest levels of the government. The presence of former Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison as the guest of honour and former Maldives President Mohamed Nasheed as a speaker added a significant international perspective to the discussions. One of the key objectives of the summit was to deliberate and identify human capital opportunities that can propel Sri Lanka's economic growth. Participants included a wide range of public and private sector organizations, multilateral institutions, and informal work groups, all collaborating with the organizers to devise effective solutions. Meanwhile, with the aim of revitalizing micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises, a comprehensive package of financial facilities was introduced today under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Presidential Secretariat. This package includes both investment and working capital facilities for the MSMEs. 15 participatory financial institutions, including licensed commercial banks and licensed specialized banks, are offering these loans at subsidized interest rates. This initiative is designed to support MSMEs that have maintained operations despite the ongoing crisis. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, speaking at the event, emphasized that the strengthening of micro, small and medium-scale enterprises is crucial for the country's progress, and he highlighted that small and medium-scale entrepreneurs were the most affected by the recent economic collapse in Sri Lanka, and the government is prioritizing their recovery now.
Sri Lanka's Minister of Foreign Affairs Ali Sabri has called on Romanian Prime Minister Marcel Ciolacu during his official visit to Romania and Poland. The Romanian Prime Minister and Minister Sabri have discussed the importance of cooperation amongst middle-income countries to overcome multiple crises faced by the world.
Posting on X, the Sri Lankan foreign minister stated that Ciolacu identified that modern politics is economics and spoke highly of the closely integrated Sri Lanka workforce in Romania, creating a win-win partnership for both countries. According to the minister, they have also agreed to consolidate Sri Lanka-Romania relations further in identified multifaceted areas. Meanwhile, talking to X, Romanian PM Ciolacu stated that he welcomes the decision of the Sri Lankan government to open an embassy in Romania, given their ascendant bilateral collaboration. He added that talks with Foreign Minister Mohammad Ali Sabri were a good opportunity to foster their economic and sectoral co-op in labour, education, IT, cybersecurity, emergency MGMT, tourism and the port sector. Meanwhile, Sabri has met with the president of the Romanian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mihai Daraban, and spoke of the viability of connections between the Colombo port and the Constanta port for maritime connectivity, shipping and logistics. Ali Sabri mentioned that business delegations will be exchanged in the future to identify accruing synergies. Discussions have also been held pertaining to strengthening interactions between the parliamentary friendship groups of the two countries, when the Minister Sabri met with the President of the Romanian Senate, Nicolae Ciucă.
The Government of Immigration and Immigration has introduced a new methodology for the issuance of passports to streamline the process and for the benefit of applicants. Accordingly, the applicants are now required to register in advance via the website www.immigration.gov.lk in order to apply for new passports. The Immigration and Immigration Department said that after registering online, passports will be issued according to a priority system. The relevant new system is scheduled to commence from tomorrow. The prices of 5 types of fertilizers used for tea and coconut cultivation have been reduced by amounts ranging from 1,500 rupees and 2,000 rupees. A discussion regarding the reduction of fertilizer prices was held at the ministry yesterday, and during this discussion, decisions were made to implement these price reductions.
The price of a 50-kilogram bag of APM fertilizer has been reduced from 9,000 rupees to 7,200 rupees. The price of a 50-kilogram bag of YPM fertilizer has been reduced from 8,000 rupees to 6,200 rupees, as announced by the Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industries in a statement. The price of a 50-kilogram bag of urea for tea cultivation has been reduced from 9,750 rupees to 7,950 rupees. The price of SA fertilizers for tea has been reduced from 8,000 rupees to 6,200 rupees, and the price of a 50-kilogram bag of TDM fertilizer has been reduced from 11,000 rupees to 9,200 rupees. Apart from these specific types of fertilizers, the prices of all other fertilizers produced by the State Fertilizer Corporation have been reduced by 5,000 rupees per metric ton. Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industries Mahinda Amaravira stated that this step was taken to increase fertilizer usage and thereby enhance tea and coconut production.
The Ministry of Finance's efforts to draft the Public Financial Management Bill have been commended by the Parliamentary Committee on Public Finance. After an extensive discussion on the contents of the draft bill, the committee reviewed and approved it.
Accordingly, the Ministry of Finance's efforts to present a bill aimed at establishing an efficient system to enhance public trust, ensuring the efficient allocation of resources and supporting sustainable economic growth have received the committee's appreciation. Although current financial regulations are based on a legal framework, they are deemed insufficient, according to officials who spoke before the Parliamentary Committee on Public Finance. In light of the deficiencies, inherent weaknesses and issues related to transparency and accountability in the current state financial management practices, a new financial management bill has been drafted to establish fiscal discipline. The Parliamentary Committee on Public Finance, chaired by Member of Parliament Dr. Harsha De Silva, met recently in Parliament to discuss this bill.
Let's go for a short break. This is the Nile Business Report. Welcome back to the Nile Business Report. The Colombo stock market shows no signs of recovery, with both indices recording significant lows. The All Share Price Index and the S&P SL20 Index marked notable declines, making today's trading session unfavorable for investors. To get the summary of today's market performance, let's join with Zahima Jihan from First Capital Holdings.
The broader market continued its downward trend for the third consecutive session, with the ASPI shedding 62 points at today's session. So we saw investors remaining in the back foot, mainly influenced by the negative sentiment surrounding the political uncertainty in the country. Blue chip counters, Haley's, Mercer Corp, alongside banking sector counters like Commercial and NDB contributed to the downfall of the ASPI. On the other hand, SPEN, Cargill's and CSF contributed positively to the index, but however failed to keep up the positive momentum towards the end of the day. The turnover for the day was recorded at LKR 1.1 billion, recording a 23% decline compared to the monthly average of LKR 1.4 billion. Also, high net worth investor interacting was comparatively higher than the retail participation during today's session because high net worth investors accounted to nearly 40% of the turnover with active participation on JKH, as it recorded 8 off-board transactions amounting to LKR 388 million. Meanwhile, capital goods sector and the banking sector led the turnover with a joint contribution of 77%. Also, foreign investors remained buyers for the 4th consecutive day with moderate participation, while the net foreign inflow was recorded at LKR 454.4 million during today's session. Foreign inflow was mainly contributed by JKH, People's Leasing and DIPT PLC.
How did the private sector credit growth behave during the past months? To get the analysis, we go to Tharusha Ashoka from First Capital Holdings.
Yes. In May 2024, Sri Lanka's private credit surged by 60.7 billion rupees, rebounding from April's contraction to reach 7.4 trillion rupees. However, state credit fell by 75.9 billion rupees during the month. Year-to-date figures show private credit expanded by 71 billion rupees over the first 5 months of 2024, attributed to low inflation below the 5% since March 2024, easing import prices and a stable exchange rate, encouraging the use of suppliers' credit by importers. On the other hand, state credit saw a decline of 199 billion rupees year-to-date as the government began to settle outstanding dues. Consequently, total credit dropped by 127.5 billion rupees for the first 5 months of 2024. However, the increase in private sector credit aligns with declining interest rates and a steady rise in business confidence over the past 4 months, coupled with a notable surge in consumer confidence in June 2024. As domestic demand shows signs of recovery amidst low inflation, recent salary hikes in private sectors are anticipated to boost consumption and drive investments in capacity expansions. First Capital Research forecast a 7.5% growth in private sector credit for 2024, bolstered by expected improvements in credit demand in the second half of the year, coinciding with election campaigns and heightened business activities. To further support credit growth, the AWPLR fell by 19 basis points during the week on week to 8.85% last week, and the AWLR decreased from 13.14% in April 2024 to 12.81% in May 2024. With the AWPLR now below the 9% threshold, we anticipate a narrowing of the spread between AWPLR and AWLR.
Gold prices rose today, hovering near a record high scale in the previous session as rising anticipation of a U.S. interest rate cut in September lifted demand for non-yielding bullion. Spot gold was up 0.5% at $2,470.62 per ounce. Prices hit an all-time high yesterday as U.S. gold futures also climbed 0.5% to $2,473.10. Decreasing interest rates and U.S. elections are two immediate factors likely to push gold beyond $2,500 as gold tends to benefit from economic and geopolitical uncertainty. Oil prices extended gains today, buoyed by a bigger than expected decline in crude stocks in the United States, the world's largest oil consumer. Brent futures rose 41 cents or 0.5% to $85.49 a barrel, and U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was up 69 cents or 0.8% at $83.54, with both having registered gains in the previous session. Data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration showed yesterday that U.S. crude inventories fell by 4.9 million barrels last week. That exceeds a decline of 30,000 barrels forecast by analysts. Today, Today, the Sri Lankan rupee depreciated further against the US dollar compared to yesterday, as reported by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. The buying rate of the US dollar rose from 299 rupees and 15 cents to 299 rupees and 20 cents, and the selling rate increased from 308 rupees and 46 cents to 308 rupees and 52 cents. The rupee also depreciated against several other foreign currencies, and let's observe them right now. A short commercial break now. More updates right after this. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Scope Cinemas is set to revolutionize cinema experiences in Sri Lanka with the grand opening of its new IMAX theatre at Havelock City Mall on the 24th of July 2024. This eagerly anticipated launch promises to bring an unparalleled level of audiovisual immersion for Sri Lankans, marking a milestone moment for entertainment in the country.
IMAX is renowned globally for its cutting-edge technology and unique film presentation capabilities. Accordingly, the IMAX theatre at Scope Cinemas Multiplex, Havelock City, will feature IMAX with Laser, a next-gen laser projection system, delivering the most advanced theatre experience to date. This tech will be coupled with IMAX precision sound for breathtaking audio and IMAX immersion by design seating with stadium-style seating for clear viewing at every seat. All of this makes for the most immersive cinematic theatre experience in the world today. Scope Cinemas is Sri Lanka's first multi-sensory luxury entertainment company and has been a trailblazer in the local cinema industry since 2017. The company made waves when it introduced the reliable online booking system, revolutionizing the way Sri Lankans book their movie tickets. Tushan Ranganamimanage, who is the director and CEO at Scope Cinemas, said that their IMAX theatre will be the crown jewel in their network, and they are proud to be able to bring this experience to Sri Lanka for the first time.
Hilton Colombo presents a month-long celebration of Asian flavors, showcasing the rich and diverse taste of Sri Lankan, Indian and East Asian cuisines. Guests are invited to embark on a gastronomic journey, enjoying expertly crafted dishes emphasizing vibrant spices, fresh ingredients and unique culinary traditions from across Asia.
The culinary offerings cater to enthusiasts of Sri Lankan, Indian and East Asian flavors, showcasing a diverse array of traditional dishes. From spicy curries and aromatic rice dishes to tandoori kebabs and butter chicken, each meal is meticulously crafted by a team of talented chefs using the finest local ingredients and authentic recipes. The East Asian cuisine features a blend of flavors from China, Japan, Korea and Thailand, promising a harmonious culinary journey through the region's diverse culinary traditions. Additionally, there will be a masala chai station, sticky mango rice, a satay station and a pani puri station, all complemented by a selection of free-flowing mocktails and cocktails. Flavors of Asia is priced at 8,388 rupees net per head from Monday through Thursday and 8,888 rupees net per head from Friday to Sunday. It will be available at the Grace Kitchen from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. until the 31st of July 2024. An early bird offer will be available for the first 100 tickets purchased online.
8 quality improvement projects implemented at SRIT Kalani Holdings have won Gold Award for being Sri Lanka's leading tyre manufacturer at the National Convention on Quality and Productivity 2024. This was organized by the Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Quality and Productivity. Noteworthy about this achievement was that every quality improvement project presented by SRIT Kalani at the convention received a Gold Award. The teams that presented them have qualified to represent Sri Lanka at the International Convention on Quality Control Circles 2024 to be held in Colombo in November. Zesta tea, a renowned flagship brand under Sunshine Consumer Lanka, has announced My Zesta Story, a campaign inviting all Sri Lankan tea lovers to create their very own commercial for the brand.
Participants are encouraged to submit their ideas in various formats, including videos, audio recordings, scripts, storyboards, and animations. The winning entry will receive a grand prize of 1 million rupees, and the following top 4 entries will each receive consolation prizes of 250,000 rupees. Additionally, Zesta will give the winning idea the opportunity to be produced and aired on TV, offering the ultimate platform for Sri Lankan creativity. Sunshine Consumer Lanka's CEO Anuruddha Alvihara commented on the campaign, saying that the My Zesta Story campaign is a further testament of their bold ways of communicating what Zesta brings towards Sri Lankans.
The Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology has launched a new specialized degree program in artificial intelligence. As a non-state university, the introduction of this latest degree program marks a significant milestone in the Sri Lankan higher education sector.
Recognizing artificial intelligence as the future of education and technological innovation, the Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology has designed a 4-year specialized degree program in artificial intelligence to meet the high demand of AI specialists amid the rapid technological advancement of today. The curriculum of this program is structured to integrate a broad range of theoretical knowledge with practical experiences. The program is set to conclude with the completion and presentation of a research project in the final year. The extensive curriculum of this degree program places a special emphasis on cutting-edge fields such as data analytics, neural networking, and intelligent systems. This focus will enable students to gain valuable insights into modern technological advancements. SRIT, emphasizing academic excellence, has designed this degree program to prepare students for current challenges by integrating practical training and industry certification.
Let's take a short commercial break. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Asian shares were mostly down today, with Tokyo's benchmark dipping more than 2% after Wall Street's record-breaking rally slammed into a wall of worries over potentially worsening trade tensions with China. By early afternoon, Japan's Nikkei 225 index was down 1.9% at 40,324.17. Hong Kong was the regional outliner, gaining 0.3% to 17,776.73. The Shanghai Composite Index edged 0.1% lower to 2,959.25. Australia's S&P ASX 200 fell 0.2% to 8,041.80, and South Korea's Kospi declined 1.4% to 2,803.95. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq tumbled as plunging microchip shares exacerbated the ongoing rotation out of mega-cap tech-related stocks in the face of potential escalation of U.S. trade conflicts with China.
The S&P 500 and Nasdaq tumbled on Wednesday as shares of chip makers plunged. But the Dow extended its string of all-time closing highs as the rotation out of mega-cap tech stocks continued. The blue chip index rose about 0.6%. The S&P 500 dropped 1.4%, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq plummeted almost 2.8%. A report that the Biden administration is considering severe trade restrictions against China exacerbated the decline in chip stocks, with the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index marking its biggest one-day drop since March 2020. NVIDIA shed more than 6.5%, Meta Platforms lost more than 5.5%, and Tesla dropped more than 3%. Even the small-cap Russell 2000 index, which surged 11.5% over the last 5 sessions, snapped its longest winning streak in over 4 years. Investors instead showed renewed interest in more undervalued stocks. Among other movers, Johnson & Johnson gained more than 3.5% after posting better-than-expected profit and revenue driven by strong drug sales.
Top Federal Reserve officials said the U.S. Central Bank is closer to cutting interest rates given inflation's improved trajectory and a labor market in better balance in remarks that set the stage for a first reduction in borrowing costs in September.
Top U.S. Federal Reserve officials on Wednesday indicated that interest rate cuts are getting closer. Fed Governor Christopher Waller said the time to cut rates was, quote, drawing closer during a speech at the Kansas City Fed. And New York Fed President John Williams used the same language in an interview with the Wall Street Journal. They cited the improved trajectory of inflation and a labor market now in better balance. The remarks appear to set the stage for a reduction at the central bank's meeting in September. Earlier this week, Fed Chair Jerome Powell and others noted the increased confidence that price gains are continuing to slow and move toward the Fed's 2% target. This is despite a short-lived bump in inflation earlier this year. By the Fed's preferred measure, inflation in May was running at a 2.6% annual rate, down from the 7.1% peak reached during the COVID-19 pandemic. The June data is due next week. The central bank is widely expected to keep its benchmark rate unchanged at its next meeting, which begins July 30th. Markets have fully priced in a cut in September, with 2 more by the end of the year solidly reflected in interest rate futures pricing.
With that, we conclude tonight's bulletin of the Nightly Business Report. We'll see you again the next time with the latest happenings around the globe. I'm Sina Maya Durne. Have a good night.